Greetings! Now please do watch this short intro as it might answer a lot of potential questions before they even emerge. So in this video I intend to show you the locations of every collectible you can obtain in Armored Core. By every collectible I mean every combat log, every data log and every hidden part aka chest. The core of this guide will be the focus on doing it mission by mission for every mission. However, there are of course some missions where there are either no collectibles to be found at all, or they are all mandatory and completing the mission would therefore guarantee you already have them. So I will not be wasting your time with mandatory collectibles and instead focus only on those that are in fact missable. I will however describe each and every mission by word, plus have a detailed description underneath my video with the appropriate timestamps for each mission, which I intend to offer as the actual guide so to speak, so you can just look up the exact mission you still think to be missing something from by a description timestamp. One important piece of information about combat logs right at the start: there are enemies that grant combat logs, and those can be basically any enemy. And they must all individually be defeated to actually get all combat logs of a mission. However, when they stand relatively close together, they are usually considered to be one combat log for practical purposes. My guide here will also take that approach to combat logs. Don't be intimidated, it's going to be clear enough. Now, I will obviously be using a save for this, where I already unlocked everything. This has the advantage of me already having access to an already very strong AC, plus having access to this already completed list of missions, which would otherwise be a nightmare to cobble together. This, however, comes with the disadvantage of me not being able to directly show you the actual notifications that would pop up at the moment of you actually obtaining a collectible. But I will make sure to tell you exactly what bunch of enemies will offer a combat log when I show them, and I will also make sure to specifically point out each chest and data log rec. Now, one last piece of information before I begin. In order to check every mission, you will obviously first need to have access to every mission. This will require you to go through the story at least 3 times in order to get all 3 endings, and you will have to make the correct choices when you do so the second and the third time. Those are actually rather easy to get correct though, so I will give you a quick but rough rundown right now just in case you might still find that information useful. It is really intuitive actually. So, in your first playthrough, just make whatever choice you want. It will always be simple this or that choices, just make sure to actually remember them. It perhaps wouldn't even hurt to maybe even note them down. Now, in your second playthrough, just make sure to always select the opposing choice to the choices you made in your first playthrough, including potential decisions you can now make during missions that would then alter said mission. Finally, in your third playthrough, simply make sure to always select all of the All Might missions that are presented to you now. Doing that will guarantee the third ending. There are of course way more detailed guides about how to unlock all endings out there, but I just gave you the quintessence too. They are not really hidden if you ask me. And you can of course already get every collectible while you are doing them if you use, say, my guide here. Now, finally, with all that out of the way, let us begin. Alright, so the first mission, Illegal Entry, actually has 4 data logs, but they are all mandatory. I'm pretty sure everybody watching this guide already has them, so much for that. Now, the second mission, Destroy Artillery Installations, has nothing, so much for that. Now, the third mission, Grid 135 Cleanup, also has nothing, so much for that. Now for the fourth mission, Destroy the Transport Helicopters, there actually is one missable combat log, which I will of course show you. It is the bigger MT, the quadrupod, that is guarding the final transport helicopters. I will show you. Keep in mind, I've only really wrote a script for the intro, so bear with me here.
Commence mission. Destroy the Rubicon Liberation Front transport choppers. Confirmed.
Just in case I stumble over my own words.
Keep at it, 621.
We're under attack. It's a corporate
Yeah.
intercept. Keep them off the
So
supply.
much. You know, when you're rushing through this, you realize how much voice acting there actually is. It's almost too much.
We're no match for an
Alright,
AC.
and that is the enemy that you have to destroy.
The Coral is with us.
In order to actually get the
They've got a BAWS tetrapod.
combat log.
It's a cut above the other MTs. Ignore it and focus on the mission.
Can't be.
And there you go. That'll grant you the combat log. Now for the 5th mission, destroy the tester AC, there is one combat log, but it is unmissable, you just have to destroy the tester AC. So much for that. Now, the 6th mission, attack the dam complex, there actually is one very much missable combat log. There's also another combat log, where you just have to defeat the boss, which is unmissable, so I will not be wasting your time with that. But the one that is missable is to defeat an MT that is relatively hard to find. I will of course show you where to get it.
Activating combat mode.
Balaam Group AC Squad Redguns reporting for duty. Commence mission. Attack! Get in there, you maggots!
Great. An independent merc. Who's the wise guy who decided the Redguns should be taking care of some freelancer?
Who gives a shit? We'll handle this mission ourselves. One target destroyed.
Hey, freelancer. And no one even told you why we're here. Well, let's move you right down to climb the wall. This is just target practice. When we're done, the local's little base is next.
Good five. Can't take yourself away from chatting with a tag-along? Why don't you start a sewing club together and stitch that damn mouth of yours shut?
I don't really like Michigan, I don't know why people keep chatting him. I actually prefer Snail.
Yes, you're not a total amateur. That takes
Alright,
care of the
now-
frontline infrastructure.
From here on out,
That was just the
you have to go
warm-up. Look
here,
alive, maggots!
and there's
Two generators
the
to go.
missable MT.
Keep moving, 621.
I would recommend you to first kill these
Field trip, kid.
Don't wet your pants now.
little MTs that are spamming rockets at you, and then you can kill this thing.
Good five.
Wow.
Good luck with the sewing club, I see.
And this will then grant you
Rubicon. Who can pilot better than you sew?
oh so desired combat log. Yeah. And this will be it. That would grant you the combat log. Now, the 7th mission, attack the dam complex alt version. It is a new game plus mission, and it will actually offer combat logs. Those are mandatory, however. You will have to select accept when prompted with a decision box, and what follows will net you those combat logs. They are mandatory. So much for that. Now, the 8th mission, destroy the weaponized mining ship, that has nothing. So much for that. Now, the 9th mission, escort the weaponized mining ship. It is a new game plus mission, and it also has nothing. So much for that. Now, the 10th mission, Operation Wallclimber. That one actually has a combat log and 2 data logs. All of them missable, so I will show you how to get all of them. The combat log will, by the way, be the first combat log group, so it's actually more than one combat log, but because it's just a bunch of enemies that are close together, we are treating it as one combat log for practical purposes. You will understand when you see it. I already mentioned it in the intro anyway,
We'll start by clearing the way for Archivus.
which I hope you want.
Take out the Gatling cannons protecting the city, and the BAWS tetrapod MT further in. There's heavy fire coming from up top. 621, keep an eye out for cover.
You'll never climb the wall, Corporation dogs!
So, the first combat log
Abide with Rubicon!
set
We're under attack.
will be
They're in the city.
these MTs that are guarding this wreck here in this fenced area. If I do a thorough job, I also killed these two. And yeah, that should net you the first combat log set. This rack here will also give you your first data log. And now let's head for the last. All the way here to the side. Relatively well hidden. And here you will find the second data log. So much for that. Now the 11th mission, Retrieve Combat Logs, that's a little bit of a tricky one. Because there's 8 combat logs that you actually have to find, which are not really combat logs, it's data logs. Plus there's an actual combat log, which is also relatively easy to miss. So I will of course be showing all of them to you right now.
Combat mode.
First there's a hidden data log right there to the left.
Commence mission. Search the nearby racks for combat logs recording engagements with V4 Rusty. That's what we're looking for, 621. I'll analyze it on my end. This log
That
is
would be the
interesting.
first data log.
I'll make a copy. Nothing the corpse need worry about. Analyzing log.
Second data log.
This gives us some more insight about V4 skills. Some more
And that's the third one right there.
Situation looks like.
Unidentified AC.
Open fire! Kill the intruder!
Analyzing.
That would be the fourth one.
This is useful. We've got visuals on V4's AC assembly. That's 5 logs.
And yes, the fifth.
Worthless.
Stop! What are you doing here?
Looks like they're out scavenging. Could be a dozer.
They're still dangerous.
Very interesting.
And the sixth one. And now it gets a bit tricky. You actually have to follow this path all the way around these trees. You don't have to follow it exactly, of course, but you have to go this path and then you have to jump down roughly here. And that will make little Z spawn without any issues.
You, AC pilot, you're no comrade of
Which
ours,
you
are
have to kill for the combat log, which is actually the
you
combat
killed
log.
them all!
A Liberation Front survivor. It'll just hold us up if you engage her. The mission comes before everything else.
That is indeed, once again, a little bit of a false friend. You obviously have to engage her.
Go! Leave Rubicon alone! I'm a warrior, just like the others, and I will not give in. Forged in ash, we stand as one! We're not like
Yeah.
you, a greedy hound.
Keep an eye on the clock. Either avoid combat or make it quick.
Right hand, left hand.
Sorry, Arshil. I couldn't keep my promise.
And that will net you the actual combat log.
Enemy AC destroyed.
This one's the 7th data
Get
log.
back to work, 621.
And right down there, there's the 8th
Looks like this is the last
data
one.
log. And with that, you are finished. Now, Mission 12, Prisoner Rescue. It's a New Game Plus mission. And you will have to have selected the accept prompt at Attack Dam Complex Alt in order to get this mission in the first place, just as a side mention. Now, here there are 2 combat logs. One is basically unmissable, you have to defeat Gun 2 Nile. And the other one is a very well hidden MT, which I will be showing you right now.
Looks like switching sides.
Because it is very counterintuitive. This one is easily one of the best hidden, or one of the better hidden combat logs.
Commence mission. Escort the Rubicon Liberation Front's transport.
You have to go here. All the way here, away from the helicopter, and you have to go here quite far.
We have to rescue our captured comrades. Failure is not an option.
There it is. Yeah.
Under attack! The Liberation Front Chopper and an Escort AC! They must be here for their friends. Intercept.
Yeah, you have to kill this dude, and then just finish the mission. And that will give you everything. So much for that. Now, mission 13, investigate BAWS Arsenal number 2, actually has 2 very missable data logs. I will show you how to get those.
Some info.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Investigate BAWS Arsenal number 2. I've been checking the perimeter, and I'm picking up nothing. What happened here? It's too quiet. Watch out, 621. MDD. Encoded comms. Was that mech behind what happened here? 621. Continue the investigation.
First one is right here. That would be the data log.
It's got you in its sights. Another one of those stealth mechs. Don't let it. 621. I think there's more than one this time.
I have to kill them so I get access
Mark
to
your
the
targets
next
to undermine their
section.
tricks. Unidentified machine down. Keep going and stay sharp.
Now, you have to go up there, on top of these cranes. And there, you have the second data log of this mission. So much for that. Now, mission 14. Obstruct the mandatory inspection. It is a new game ++ mission. This one has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 15. Attack the Watchpoint. Actually has 1 combat log, which is unmissable, but also 2 data logs, which are very missable, and I will show you how to get those immediately.
You'll be go.
Main system activating combat mode.
Leave no evidence. If anyone sees you, handle it.
Code 1-5. Intruder sighted. It's just one AC. Who are they with? We can look into that later. Engaging. Code 7-8. Requesting backup.
First one is down
I
here.
can't get through to HQ.
The cavalry isn't coming. Wipe them out, 621.
Yep. That would be the first one. You can also find it simply by knowing that it's this turret where you have to drop down.
Confirmed. Enemy squad destroyed. Move on to the next area.
The second one is up here. And that would be it for this mission. So much for that. So mission 16, Attack the Watchpoint alt version. It's a new game plus mission. It actually has a new set of combat logs, which is defeating the laser enemies that spawn together with Solar. But those are mandatory, unmissable. So much for that. Now, mission 17, Infiltrate Grid 086. Oh boy, does this one have collectibles. It has 4 chests, 5 combat logs, and 2 data logs. Only one of the combat logs is mandatory, and that's Invincible Rummy. Let me show you how to get all of that.
Main system, activating combat mode.
I sent you the marker data. Let's head toward the elevator going to the upper level.
Who's this, tourist? You think you can just waltz straight in here? Hope you're watching, boss. Leave it to Invincible Rummy to show our guest a good side. No, mad stuff!
Yeah, that would have been the first combat log,
Destroyed.
but it's of course mandatory.
You're having fun, tourist. You know, RAD loves a good welcome party. Come
Second
on
one
in, and let's get acquainted.
are the MTs
How curious. Let's take a look
that you get to fight here.
I've gathered data along with our broadcast.
That would be the first combat log of this combat log group.
She joins my heroes and a crew of junk wizards and hackers. Within half a year, she seized total control
that
and greatly expanded
will be
their
the second.
operations.
Now I recommend you to then take this little shortcut here. You can call it that. But I find it nice that you can go here. And these 2 toy box enemies here will then be the next group of combat log enemies. These 2 will each give you a combat log. And then there's this little elevator here, which you can just jump down. Right down here you have your first data log. Fairly easy to miss.
Kept us waiting, tourist. Told you we love a good party.
Left-hand ammunition at 50. Right-hand ammunition at 50%.
Well, you're no slouch, are you?
Now the first chest. When you have jumped down here, you go back. And then here you have your first chest. Relatively easy to miss. Now, I'm not going to go in there, but if you go into this pipe with the molten metal, you can see there's the second DataLog rack. That one's really annoying to get. Now, let's first go down here. Because here, you will find the second chest. Now back up here, if you take this pipe, you can go in there. Follow this path of coal, or whatever the hell it is. Jump down here. And here, you will find your third chest. And
I've got you now.
your third combat log. No sec.
I don't know you a damn thing. You've made a big mistake coming here. Don't worry. You gotta put that shit to work. Every last credit.
Hostile
Yeah.
AC destroyed. Let's move on.
That would have been your third combat log. Oh no, your fourth combat log, I mean. If you don't count the mandatory one, your third, of course. And then you just go back. I normally don't count the mandatory ones, but for this specific part of the guide, it's technically your fourth. Whatever. Not gonna do the take again just because of the minor technicality.
Would have been cheaper to just hire you instead.
Now, here... you should just kill all of the MTs that you find here. I'm not entirely sure if you need those, but better be safe than sorry. You 100% have to kill these two, though. Whoa! And that one. Then you go up there. Kill this dude as well. Here you have your fourth chest. And now, that would be everything. So much for that. Oh wait, not yet. Yeah. Pretty sure you have to kill this dude too. That's kind of the disadvantage of doing it with an AC like this. I'm not 100% sure which ones did give combat logs and which ones didn't. But just kill all of the MTs in this general area and you should be good to go. Like, this layer and the layer beneath. It's really not witch work. But yeah, so much for that for real now. Now, mission 18, eliminate the Dozer faction, has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 19, stop the secret data breach, which is a new game plus mission. That one actually does have 2 combat logs, both of them are missable, and 1 data log which is also missable. So let me show you how to get all of these. One of the harder missions if you ask me. Getting this stuff in combination with doing the mission can be challenging, especially if you're not that good at
Main
navigating
system activating combat mode.
labyrinths.
Let's get rolling, tourist. Destroy all the hacking drones those degenerate coyotes left here.
Let's be quick about this, Raven.
Security breaches reached 10%. Firewall's going down fast. Must be about 5 triple.
Confirmed.
No.
Target destroyed.
The first combat log
Straight out of
is
the gates. Keep it up, tourist.
where NOSEC was. You have to go in there. Down here. Yeah. Just kill everything you find down here. That corridors like this. Yeah. Just kill everything you find in here. That will give you your first combat log set. You might have to do this mission twice. Because, as mentioned, not exactly the easiest mission to do. Especially in combination with stuff like that. Yeah.
I get why they want our tech. I just wish they had a little more flair. If it were me, I'd raid us from orbit and just yank our servers off the ground.
Ah yes. And there
Coyotes are using R8
you find the
They're
data
out of
log
stuff on the black market.
of this
Still,
mission right
I'm
here.
not sure I like seeing my own babies used against me.
And when you turn back here,
Security breaches reached 50%.
you will find this MT. This one is a little bit tricky. Some guides I've watched actually missed that one, even though they were specifically only showcasing combat logs, but you have to kill this one too. Because I am positive that this one gives a combat log as well. And so much for that. That will be mission 19. So much for that. Now, mission 20, Ocean Crossing, actually has 2 combat logs and 2 data logs. All of them missable, so let me show you how to get them.
This will
Main system activating combat mode.
Here we go, tourist. I'll lead the way, just as promised. But after this, you owe me one. This elevator goes straight to the top of the grid, the outer shell. Sadly, that's beyond my territory. I mean, once you're out there, the PCA satellites see everything. A few of the stupider dozers took it as a challenge, went out to prove themselves. You can guess what happened.
We've arrived at the top, sending you new marker data. This is how we said. At this altitude, we're within firing range of the PCA satellites.
Intruder detected in forbidden sector.
That must be the PCA security system.
Now, once you get out here, you go down there, you go through this door. Here you're gonna find 2 of these drones. Where did the second one go? There it is. You have to kill these two to get your first combat log set. Then right here you have your first data log. Now, let's go out here. Yep, you have another two. You kindly die, thank you. That will be your second data logs, combat log set. And then you just follow this road, which will get you your second data log. Quite reliably. There it is. And so much for that. Now, mission 21. Steal the survey data. Actually has 4 data logs, but they're all mandatory. It has, however, 1 combat log as well, which is missable. Kill an MT again. Let me show you where to kill it. It's one of those quadro spiders, you know.
Combat mode.
Commence mission. Extract the data from the birthed survey drones, then get out.
Huh? An intruder?
Solo AC. Must be an independent merc.
Taking Balin's money, no
There it
doubt.
is.
Intercept!
621. Eliminate obstructions as you see fit. Remember that the data is your priority.
Love it when it happens right as I'm about to fire. But yeah, that's it. That will give you the missable combat log. And so much for that. Now, mission 22, attack the refueling base. That one actually does have 1 combat log and 2 data logs. Let me show you how to get them, because they're all missable.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Take out the PCA forces and head for the energy refinery plant.
I'm not 100% sure if
Contact with
the
AC
boss
unknown
of
affiliation.
this level gave you a combat log as well, but that would be irrelevant because you have to do them anyway.
Immediately.
There will be bonuses for destroying the fuel storage tanks along the way. We should do our best to take them out.
Code 5, unaffiliated AC. Moving to terminate. Sending code 70.
You see that, 621? That dome's your refinery plant. I've updated your marker data. Head for the target.
Code
No.
5, unknown AC.
Must
First,
be after the plant.
we have to kill this dude.
situation. Terminate it.
Looks like an independent mercenaries assembly.
Leave the analysis.
Then
Intercept.
you have to kill the dude that will be standing right there. And that will be both combat logs, which I think can still be counted as 1 combat log set. Now, once you've done that, you go down here, and it's hard to see, but right there will be a data log wreck. Or is a data log wreck.
Left-hand ammunition at 50%. Right-hand ammunition at 50%.
Up to the last data log.
Code 1-5.
Where's the Vanguard? Handle it!
Should of course destroy these
Confirmed. Fuel storage tank destroyed.
fuel tanks if you want to.
There should be more.
But let me
Let's
just
earn some extra credits while we can.
focus on showing you the data log. Obviously.
That's the refinery plant. 2N621.
Yeah, you can go back.
Go 5.
Should still be able to.
Hostile AC sighted.
Requesting backup from the system. Code 78.
It's relatively well hidden. This is one of the very well hidden data logs. If you go here, then you have to go into this gap, and then you follow it for a while. Here you find the data log. So that's really not exactly the easiest to find. So much for that. Now, Mission 23, Eliminate V.VII by the name of Swinburne. That's a little bit of a tricky one. It should have gotten an old version in my opinion, but it did not for some reason. Now, it has 2 classic data logs and 1 classic combat log, but it also has 2 very much special combat logs. You get the first of these by killing Swinburne, which would in theory be unmissable, but it is not, because you will be given the option to spare him unless you kill him too quickly, so maybe don't do that if you want to spare him. And if you spare him, a certain AC by the name of Rokumonsen will spawn, and you have to kill him to get the other combat log. However, you cannot kill both at once, and this requires you to replay this mission 2 times. I would recommend doing it in 2 walkthroughs, because that saves you 1 mission. Important here, you have to do it at least twice, and you cannot do it at once, which is why I believe it should have gotten an old version, as mentioned. I will only be showing you the Rokumonsen version, because I'm pretty sure you will be able to kill Swinburne, even without me showing you. I would be showing it to you if it had an old version, but I do not wish to break with the general order of my guide, so it'll have to do. I'm pretty sure it'll do. First you have to go right here to get the first data log.
Sending results now.
Right here in this ditch. Voila.
That's
That's the rec for the first data log.
If you pick up a capture camera tracking you, take cover or quickly
Then just go straight here. Maybe a little bit left here.
Check to see where they're deployed. Raven,
Then when you go here, this dude. Yeah. You'll have to kill this dude for your first combat log. That's really annoying. Quadro MT with the shield is really not exactly nice in some fights. But yeah, that will give you your first combat log. And then right here you have your second data log.
No sign of the target, it seems. Perhaps he's out
Now
on
let's
night
go to
watch.
fight Swinburne.
Raven, look over there. We've detected an AC in combat mode. That must be Swinburne, the target. Target confirmed. It's Swinburne, the Vespers.
Back to your post, Grunt.
What do you think you're playing at? Wait, you're not one of mine. Another ambusher? I don't know who led you up to this, but clearly you need to be disciplined.
I would perhaps not recommend the pile bunker against this dude, because as mentioned, if you kill him too fast,
No,
he will not give you the
I'm
decision prompt.
Swinburne. I can't lose.
There it
realize
is.
I lead the Vespers 7th Squad, which means I hold the purse strings. Every single transaction goes through me. Let me go, and you'll still come out on top. Understand?
Left-hand ammunition at 30%.
You're quick on the uptake, aren't you? Splendid.
By the way, you
I'm
can
sure Snail
still
will
kill
see
him
you're
right now.
properly honored for this. You're not like those
Just
savages.
mentioning.
Keep up the good work.
But if you're going for Rokumonsen, as I am doing right now, just do nothing. He will despawn, which is what will cause you to do this mission twice. And there he is.
Prepare to intercept.
Scoundrel's province.
He's definitely one of the cooler ACs, and he's also not exactly weak.
Soil.
I'm running out of ammo.
Elite assassin associated with the Rubicon Liberation Front. Don't let him confuse you with the enemies.
No false beyond us. Your seditious blade strikes true. Savage is the curse. I shall pay my dues. Watch me, good comrade Zay. Your reward has come.
Hold on. Oh, already out of ammo? Doing this without ammo will of course not exactly make it easier. What a waste of time. Come on, die already. I know you're cool, but literally fighting you without ammo. Yeah, and that will give you the second combat log. As mentioned, you have to kill Swinburne as well in another go through. But yeah, so much for that. Now, mission 24, Tunnel Sabotage. That is your first decision mission. You will have to choose between Tunnel Sabotage and prevent corporate salvage of new tech. I will obviously first be doing Tunnel Sabotage. Now, this one actually has one chest and one combat log, which are both very much missable. So let me show you where to get them.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Destroy the old sensor at the end of the underground tunnel. This place may be derelict, but it won't be left undefended. Keep your guard up, 621.
Code 1-5, unaffiliated AC.
Attack? Why?
Watch your step. There's a faint coral response coming from the bottom. It must be linked to
You have to go up there.
Gun 13, come in,
And then you have to go
ECA
here,
ground
left,
forces are headed your way earlier than planned.
to this area.
Sure they stay busy. You know what to do. Over and out.
You heard him, 621. Destroy the target and get out of there.
Now this dude up there, that is the one you have to kill in order to get the combat log. And then, up here, next to this quite impressive engine, you have the chest. So much for that. Now mission 25, which is the second possible decision of your first decision missions. prevent corporate salvage of new tech, has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 26, survey the uninhabited floating city. This one actually has 1 chest, 1 combat log, and 2 data logs, one of which is unmissable though. So, I will be showing you the other 3 collectibles.
Main system activating combat mode.
Great. The ECM won't interfere with our contact. But this must be a beacon left by the survey drone. I'll use markers to track them. You can use them if...
Unknown intruder detected. Normalization process.
Those seem to be city defensive. Locate an ECM fog control device. See if you can access it. Confirmed.
Now the first chest is right here. On this elliptical building. First get rid of this fly guy. No.
I'm sorry, you'll have to rely on your experience.
Not necessarily my greatest shot. Wow. But yeah. On this elliptical building here, we have the first chest. Now,
Second fog control.
let's continue. We have to go here now.
Intrusion detected. Normalization process.
You can just rush past these. Just continue straight. Get to this other roundabout building. And you have to kill this dude to get the combat log. Yeah. Yeah. You too, but you don't actually have to kill him. And here you get the data log. There's another data log from the drone as mentioned, but it is mandatory. So much for that. Now, mission 27, survey the uninhabited floating city alt version. It is a new game plus mission. It actually has a combat log and a data log, but they are both mandatory unmissable. You have to defeat Father Thumdalmayan. He will give you the combat log, and similar to how you would normally get a combat log, you will also get a data log automatically from him by defeating him. It's a little bit special, but yeah, both unmissable, so much for that. Now, mission 28, heavy missile launch support. This one has nothing, so much for that. Now, mission 29, eliminate the enforcement squads. That is your second decision mission opportunity. And you will have to decide between eliminate the enforcement squads and destroy the special forces craft. I will first be showing you eliminate the enforcement squads. This one has 1 combat log and 2 data logs. All of them are missable. So let me show you how to get them.
Seems Balaam.
Especially the data log is a tricky thing, like the second
Main
one.
system activating combat mode.
Very unintuitive.
Commence mission.
So yeah, let me first show you that one.
Occupying the wall.
Obviously, you watching this guide probably don't care that much about spoilers. So when I go and collect the data log, which is right there, an AC will attack me. But I would recommend you to first attack him. That makes the fight a little bit easier. It's not really important, but yeah. He will actually give you a combat log.
Iris Ring Freddy. Affiliation with Convergence.
End of line, friend. Father wants you nipped in the bud. Father, guide me, please.
Yeah, he will give you a combat log.
AC candle ring
And
has gone silent.
then there's
Looks
this
like you dealt with him.
data log,
Back to work, 621.
which I can access because he would have attacked me had I accessed it. Now let's head for the final data log of this mission.
Code 1-5, solo AC. An independent merc. Terminated.
SG, and are heavily armed. Be careful, Rick.
They've got the number, 621. It'd be reckless to rush in.
That one would be right here. Alright, so much for that. Now, mission 30. Destroy the Special Forces craft, which is the second choice you can make for your second decision opportunity. It has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 31, attack the old spaceport, has 2 combat logs, both of them missable. I will show you where they are.
If this mission
Main system activating combat mode.
commence mission, destroy all the berth's warships.
Code 1-5, intruder detected.
First one,
Sharing all base
right over
personnel.
there.
Commencing threat evaluation.
Oh, damn it.
I'm on standby near Harloff, buddy. Patch me in. I'll gauge the situation on your end before I jump in.
Yeah. You have to kill this dude. That will give you the first combat log. Then,
Target for termination approaching warship.
Estimated threat
Then-
range 3 to 4. Contain the target.
you have to go here. And you have to kill this dude. Thank you. And that is it. So much for that. Now, mission 32, eliminate Honest Brute. That one is probably the hardest in terms of actually finding every collectible in all of Armored Core. It has 3 chests, 5 combat logs, one of which is unmissable. It's eliminating Honest Brute himself. And then there's 2 data logs, which are probably the hardest collectibles to find in all of Armored Core. I will show you how to collect all of them, except of course for Honest Brute himself.
You ready?
Main system activating combat mode.
All right, tourist. I'll tell you where to go.
Welcome, tourist.
Well, first, you actually just fly straight ahead
So far away.
towards this platform here.
Here's your bad week skull for us.
Oh, heavens. You're a friend of Carla's. Splendid.
And here you find the first data log. Already not exactly easy to find if you ask me.
Be my guest.
Then just jump down
See
here
what I mean, tourist? We need to go deep down.
and kill the 2 toy box mechs. Can be found here. Whoa. Yeah.
That damn freak
This one
sees
here.
my toys like they were his.
And this one here will be the first set of enemies to give you combat logs.
Make sure you keep clear of the laser sensors.
Then, if you jump down here, maybe you've already seen it. Here you have your first chest.
What joy. Be still my beating heart.
And once again, same deal with the toy box next. These will give you combat logs. After that, you jump down here. And here, there will be a singular
I'm waiting for you, friend.
combat log enemy.
Waiting anxiously before the big
Quadro
dance.
pod MT, as always.
Well, keep up, but the anticipation
Killing him
part of the fun.
will give you another combat log. Yeah.
Slow. Quick, slow.
After that,
Slow.
you can just go here.
Quick, slow. I know, Milktooth. I can't wait either.
This seems rather strange.
Then onto this crane. Voila. That's the second chest. After that, we will head for the, in my opinion, hardest collectible to find in all of Armored Core. I mean, seriously, who the hell found this? It wasn't me, I will not deny that. It is here on the second to last floor. This is the second data log on this stage. After that, you go here.
You'll need to get behind it.
You have to get inside that shield, yes. And just kill everything that is within this shield to get the final set of combat logs. To be very honest, I'm once again not entirely sure. I think killing only the toy box mech should be enough. But yeah, better to be safe than sorry.
Left-hand ammunition at 50%.
There's your way in. Brute can't be far.
We should keep an eye out for
Now,
traps. They'll be much
after
more
this-
dangerous in tight quarters.
When you jump down here, to the right, as you can
I've
see,
done my best to welcome you. I do hope you'll enjoy your
here we have
stay
the
around.
final chest of this stage. And then there's still Honest Brute, and so much for that. Now, Mission 33, defend the old spaceport. That one actually does have one combat log. You have to defeat the boss. So it is unmissable. So much for that. Now, Mission 34, defend the dam complex. It is a New Game Plus mission. That one also has combat logs. You have to defeat the respective ACs. But they are all naturally unmissable. So much for that. Now, Mission 35, Historic Data Recovery, that one is actually a choice mission as soon as you reach New Game Plus Plus, when you have to decide between this and the next mission, Coral Export Denial. This one actually does have 3 data logs. However, they are all unmissable since it's literally the purpose of the mission to, recover historic data. So much for that. Now, Mission 36, Coral Export Denial. It is a New Game Plus Plus mission, as mentioned. And it has nothing. So much for that. Now, Mission 37, Destroy the Ice Worm. This one has, surprise surprise, nothing. So much for that. Now, Mission 38, Underground Exploration Depth 1. That one actually has one missable chest. I will show you where to find it.
Main system, activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Access the elevator and take it down.
Intruder detected. Threat level unknown. Defense phase 1.0. Commencing termination.
The defense system is activated. It's got eyes on you. Watch out. Below you. That's the Pentheus. It's clearly a force to be reckoned with.
Wait, the partition's moving.
I'm picking up enemy signals nearby.
Oh yes.
Commencing.
When you fall down here, you have this little path where you have to go to continue anyway. And there is the chest. It's hard to miss, but just in case you missed it, there it is. So much for that. Now, Mission 39, Underground Exploration Depth 2. This one actually has 2 chests, 2 combat logs, and 2 data logs. However, the only unmissable collectible is one of the combat logs, so I will be showing you the mission. Notable about this mission is that actually one of the combat logs you will be receiving from one of the chests, which is a little bit strange, but whatever.
Main system, activating combat mode.
Let's go, Raven. This is where the survey begins in earnest. Structural drawings, the route continues past this partition. Looks like the power's out. Let's find a way to...
And wait for you, Raven. You're gonna thank you, Archivist.
Now, right here behind this concrete slab, you will be finding your first data log.
The elevator's back online too. Let's take it back up to the upper level. Partition should open now. See if you can get access. The heat exchanger section's up ahead. This is around where the comms log for Bailey's advanced log cuts off.
Been waiting for you, freelancer.
Here, we will be getting the first combat log, which is mandatory though.
You're my ticket back above ground. Let me tell you, I'm sick and tired of this pit. It'll all be over once your sorry ass is dead. My ears. Not now. Did that quack mess me up?
AP at 50%.
This isn't over.
Sad destiny though.
I swear
I can sympathize with him.
Gunfire Iguazu down. Being trapped down here, it's dangerous.
Somewhat. But yeah. Now, on this pipe right there,
Watch out.
we will find the second data log.
I'll see what data I can find.
Defense program phase 2.5. Intruder proximity to critical sector confirmed.
Looks like we're not far from
Now,
the terminus.
if we take this path
Let's
to the
find
left
control
here,
room. We'll have to
we will be finding the hall that houses the chest, which not only gives us a hidden part, but also a combat log.
Raven, let's look for a ventilation duct. We're underground. There must be one somewhere. Coral has an ventilation duct identified. Looks like it's connected to the control room.
Now onto the final chest. It is right here. And so much for that. Now, Mission 40, Underground Exploration Depth 2 Old Version, which is a New Game Plus mission. This one actually does have a combat log, which is unmissable, and a data log, which is missable. So, I will be showing you how to get it.
Main system activating combat mode.
Let's go. This is where the survey begins in earnest. Continues past this partition. Looks like the power's out. Let's find a way to bring it back online. An ambush!
Been waiting for you, Raven! You're gonna die, traitor!
Sounds like you...
Control panel identified. This should get the power back online. The elevator's back online too. Let's take it back up to the upper level. The partition should open now. See if you can get access. The heat exchanger section's up ahead. This is around where the comms log for Balam's advanced...
Now here we find the data log. So much for that. Now, Mission 41, Underground Exploration Depth 3. This one actually has 2 chests, 2 combat logs, and 2 data logs. Only one of the combat logs is mandatory.
Walter.
So I will be showing you the mission. In my opinion, this is one of the more annoying missions because of these laser turrets.
Combat mode.
Commence mission. Destroy the reactor and disable the laser barrier.
Raven, let's start by finding our way in. Watch your footing. You don't want to fall into those lasers.
High-level threat detected. Threat level 8. Defense phase 4.0. Terminating target.
This area is defended by
First chest is right here, behind these containers.
It's a step up from intruder.
See? Now going clockwise.
Looks like we're the first ones here.
Luckily, they don't really deal as much damage as you think they do. They sure are annoying. Now, going clockwise, on this first beam, you will find your first data log. Continuing clockwise, on the third beam, you will find this enemy. It's a very powerful mob. For mob standards, it is. You see, it has shape of a PCA spot, but it is quite a bit upgraded. This one will give you a combat log.
AP
And
at 50%.
the pathway he guards will lead you to the second chest. There is a second one of his kind on the beam right next to him. To be very honest, I'm not entirely sure if you had to kill him. I don't think you had to. But better be safe than sorry. You do get kill cam for him though. So yeah. Now we go down.
Trace around the outside, 621. There must be a way in.
Where all of this structure still is. You will find the second DataLog. So much for that. Now, mission 42, Intercept the Redguns. It is a choice mission. You have to choose between this one and the Ambush the Vespers mission. This one actually has one combat log, but it is unmissable. So much for that. Now, mission 43, Ambush the Vespers. It is a choice mission. As mentioned, you have to choose between this one or Intercept the Redguns. It too has a combat log, but it is unmissable. So much for that. Now, mission 44, Eliminate V.III. This one is a new Game++ mission. It does have a combat log, but it is unmissable. So much for that. Now, mission 45, Unknown Territory Survey. It actually has a chest and a combat log. The combat log is unmissable, but the chest is. So, yeah, let me show you where it is.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Make your way down to the next depth.
Something's jamming the radar. It must be interference from the active coral. Rely on your eyes and ears.
Is that...
Coral response from inside the creature. Watch out!
Now, the test is here, right before the entrance to this great
Looks like they're out of commission now.
hallway, so to speak.
Raven?
And yeah, so much for that. Now, mission 46, Unknown Territory Survey Alt, which is a new Game Plus mission. It has a combat log, which is unmissable, but it also has a data log, which is missable. So, let me show you where it is.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission. Make your way down to the next depth.
Something's jamming the radar. It must be interference from the active coral. Rely on your eyes and
Now,
ears.
it will be right there, just as you drop down. So much for that. Now, mission 47, reach the Coral Convergence. This one actually has 2 chests, 3 combat logs and 2 data logs. And only the first set of combat log enemies is in fact unmissable. It's the 2 ACs in the beginning, what a surprise. So let me of course show you the mission for the other collectibles. It is a very beautiful mission, even by AC standards in my opinion. Just as a side mention.
Main system activating combat mode.
Now, Right at the start, you turn left and fly on top of this skyscraper here.
V2 Snail, come in.
Because that will give you your
We
first
have insufficient force
data
to
log.
ensure success.
These Institute relics are such pests.
Then you turn towards this broken piece of road
That's
there.
the Arquebus AC squad.
Just fly straight towards it.
Isn't that one with the Redguns?
Looks like the drones are keeping them busy.
And then perhaps you can already see it. On top of that relatively small building, you get the first chest of this mission. Now let's take care of our PCs. So we can proceed.
Mercenary. Decided to ignore Arquebus's orders, did you?
V2 Snail, come in. The Raven is landed. Requesting backup.
This is too risky.
Commander, V2 Snail. Please, come in. This is Materlink. Requesting backup.
2 repair kits remaining.
Please, Snail, come in.
Vespers left her for dead. That wasn't pretty.
The credit shall be all mine. A fabulous opportunity.
AP at 30%.
But you kind of don't have all the
The Arquebus stars on the rise. And me, I'll be well rewarded when I bring them your head on a silver platter. Yes, I see an opportunity.
finally. Took me long enough.
He was right to bet against building. The Arquebus AC squad has been eliminated.
Secure the area 621. Looks like you're clear. Keep moving.
But yeah, with the mandatory combat logs received, we can now proceed towards significantly more interesting collectibles.
Vascular plant. It's still here.
Yeah, indeed.
Must mean that gigantic structure in
We
the
will now be
distance.
greeted with this beautiful throwback of Dark Souls 1 skeleton wheels. You have to be on this bridge, by the way. And yeah, there it is.
Right-hand ammunition at 50%.
And that will give you your first missable combat log.
Perhaps it should be no
This
surprise
specific wheel
that
on this
humanity so
bridge.
desires Coral.
Now, if you look down here, you will find the second chest that can be obtained in this mission. I don't think fighting them is necessary just to show you this chest. You can in theory just swoop down there and pick it up. However,
Arquebus must be tracking us by now.
if we go here,
Hurry, 621.
flying high so I don't trigger them, and fall down here, I can interact with the datalog rack, which will give us the second datalog of this mission. However, interacting with this rack, which is why I can interact with it, similar to the assassin and the other interactable rack, it will trigger these two bots. This one this ruin, and this one. This ruin. They will be immediately activated, and you will have to fight both at once if you interact with this rack. Now, the initial hit will not do much damage if you trigger them yourself, but you will able to actually deal significantly more damage if you're just fighting him one-on-one. So, they're very tanky, very mobile, and deal quite a lot of damage. So it's just all around a very powerful enemy. Got lucky.
Left-hand ammunition at 50%. Right-hand ammunition at 30%.
Ah, and I triggered the second one by mistake. But thankfully, in a good moment. This would have given me the first combat log of this combat log set. You have to kill the second one too. Afraid I'm not going to luck out with him as easily. Wow. He literally is faster than my last one is.
Right-hand ammunition at 10%.
Ah.
50%. Right-hand ammunition, left-hand ammunition depleted.
To get a bit more prison, apparently. Yeah, and that will give you
AP at 30%.
the final combat log of this mission. Now, you can interact with this rack, obtain the second data log as mentioned, and yeah, so much for that. Now, mission 48, reach the Coral Convergence Alt, which is a New Game ++ mission. This one actually does have a combat log, but it is unmissable. Now, mission 49, Escape. This one actually does have a data log, and it is missable. So let me show you where it is. In this mission, I will not be using my mech, because I have no choice in the matter. By the way, if spoilers are an issue to any of you, then you definitely should not watch a video that literally shows you all the
Main
secrets.
system activating combat mode.
I think a spoiler warning would be ridiculous here.
I found some coordinates in the AC systems. He's showing us the way out.
Can't believe they put us on Stewart. Is that an AC? Where'd it come from? That piece of scrap's alive. That Institute tech?
You should avoid combat as much as possible, Raven.
Now,
I'm afraid this AC is no match for your abilities. We're at a disadvantage.
you see this
Around them.
huge ass dude?
If they do spot you, your left-hand weapon is equipped for
ECM! Damn it! I can't lock
Right
on.
here, next to him,
Raven,
you will be finding
now's our
this rack.
chance.
And this will give you the data log. So much for that. Now, mission 50. Take the uninhabited floating city. This one has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 51. Intercept the corporate forces. That is a choice mission. And it gets a little bit fishy here because we are approaching the ending section. And this will lead you down the path towards the first ending, where you actually destroy the coral. Now, the other ending, which you will be able to achieve, on your first or second playthrough will be the one that actually has you save the Coral. And that would then be Eliminate Cinder Carla. The third ending, which is not exactly a choice mission in this context, depends on you having chosen all of the All Might missions as I mentioned in my intro. So it gets a bit fishy here. But with all of that out of the way, let's return to intercept the corporate forces. This one actually does have one combat log which is missable and another combat log which is unmissable. I will be showing you the missable one right now. That one is probably the hardest combat log enemy in all of Armored Core, just mentioning, even harder than the two bots from the Coral Convergence.
Alright, let's roll. We've still got time until V1 deploys. Deal with
You
the
just have to boost ahead, and instead of going down there, you go on top of this glass. And there he is. This guy is basically a mini-boss that you just fight 2 times because why not? If you want the combat log, that is. But yeah, you want the combat log. I mean, seriously, why can't I be that dude?
AP at 50%. AP at 30%. AP at 50%.
Oh yeah. This will then give you set combat log, and so much for that. Now, mission 52, breach the Kármán lines. This one has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 53, shut down the closure satellites. This one has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 54, eliminate Cinder Carla. This one actually has 2 combat logs. One is unmissable, but the other one is missable. You have to eliminate Snail, which you don't have to do. You can just speed past him. So let me show you how to do that.
Main system activating combat mode.
Let's get started, Nathan. As always, I'll support you. Carla has taken up command in the reservoir dome in the Zion's port. You'll make enemies of both the corporations and oversee the darkness. Please, be careful.
Roboconian apes, out of my way.
That's way too slow.
Now, as mentioned, you can in theory just fly past him.
It's up to you.
Even if you triggered him, you can just ignore him, fly past him. But if you want the combat log, what you do, you should attack him.
You run away with your tail between your legs. Back for more, are you? You fools don't know your place. You don't know when you're beaten. You don't even know what's good for you. Still hanging on, are you? Old augmentation at its worst. All you know is to chase your master's prize. Used just as bad, you know. Recalcitrant to the last.
honest, I actually like the guy. I don't know why he's getting so much hate.
Stop, you pest! You may have won this battle.
But yeah. This will give you his combat log. The rest is mandatory, as with so many other missions up to this point. So yeah, so much for that. Now, mission 55, destroy the drive block. This one has nothing. So much for that. Now, mission 56, bring down the xylem. This one also has nothing once again. So much for that. Now, mission 57, MIA, which is a New Game ++ mission, is probably the most memorable mission in all of Armored Core, in my opinion. It actually has one missable combat log. I will show you how to get it.
Main system activating combat mode.
Let's go,
I will try to rush through this as fast as possible.
What are these things? I don't know how, but the Watchpoint's defenses are back online.
Corporate stragglers still remain within the Watchpoint.
Watch out. Sniper LCs.
Fire! Retreat! Open the partition!
Don't!
Without their leadership, corporations are powerless. A chain made of human links is easily broken.
AC, ID unknown. Hell, we're in hell!
I'm picking up enemies behind you.
It's all going wrong, and that AC's to blame! I'm not gonna die like this.
Enemy signal silent. Let's keep moving.
2 repair kits remaining.
They're just drones! Swat them down!
Wait, there's something else. AC!
Report to the nearest Vesper.
Left-hand ammunition at 50%.
Now, instead of going through here, you go right here.
Wait, we found a Balaam straggler!
Then you jump down here.
Check. Gun 13. Gun 13 Raven. Good timing. Help me out.
He's a Redgun survivor.
Good work, Gun 13. Always did work hard for me. Handled all my requests. And yet...
Watch out!
Gun 13 Raven. I can't trust you.
Yeah. And that will give you the combat log. So much for that. You don't have to fight him, which is why this is missable. I really think you should, though. I rushed it now just because I'm doing a guide, but I will take that much time to say this is where the story shines. But yeah, so much for that. Now, mission 59, regain control of the xylem, which is a New Game ++ mission. This one actually has 2 chests, and they are both missable. So, let me show you where to find them.
Main system activating combat mode.
Commence mission.
First, right down here. There's the first chest.
From our earlier infiltration remain within the control block. These 2 have fallen under the control of the Overseer, Carla. Disabling them may allow you to extract the locations of the parasite modules. Parasite module destroyed. Commencing counterattack. Engaging Overseer hostiles.
Base disabled. Extracting module data. Check marker, Raven. Target destroyed. This sector should be clear. Let's move on.
Augmented Human C4621. Raven. Sharing progress on the battle outside. Your handler is a rather capable pilot.
Walter, how's the starboard block looking?
6 pilotless ACs, all exact copies of the Vespers.
Yeah, same story over here. This is a bad joke.
Raven. Let's get back to the mission.
AP at 50%. Left-hand ammunition, right-hand ammunition at 50%.
Target destroyed. 3 remaining.
Parasite modules left. Let's keep it up.
I've seen better odds. Wish the tourist was still with us.
621 isn't dead.
Nothing gets past you, huh?
Just prioritize blocking out Asylum. 621 chose this. My faithful hound is now our biggest threat.
You must hurry. We cannot afford to lose our momentum.
Must confess, this mission is toxic for me. Because I'm not that good at navigating labyrinths. But yeah. Here, right after that, you will find the final chest. I want to give you a little bit of a better look at it. There it is. And yeah. So much for that. Now, mission 59, Coral Release. The final mission. It actually has nothing. So much for that. One final note here. It should actually be 60 missions, because Eliminate Swineburne did not actually get an alt version. It really should have got an alt version, but yeah, that's just as a side note. Coral Release is the last mission. It has nothing. If you obtained the final chest in the mission above, regained control of the Xylem, and did everything before that, you have successfully gotten every collectible. So much for that. Well, as a final note, thank you for using my guide. Assuming you used it if you're hearing these words. It was significantly more work to record than I would have originally assumed it to be. But I think it was worth it. Armored Core is definitely worth it. In my opinion, it is better than Elden Ring. Now, there were many guides out there, but there was no guide that showcased everything, at least not visually, and most certainly not mission by mission the way I would have wanted it to be. If you achieved every collectible, congratulations. No matter if you used my guide or not. But yeah, I hope I was at least somewhat helpful. And to end this guide with saying I haven't used in a long time. Fly safe, Commander.